Female-run enterprises have been steadily growing all over the world. They contribute to household incomes and growth of national economies. Yet women are still heavily disadvantaged by social and time constraints that limit their ability to expand their businesses. Many aspiring business owners face gender bias when seeking capital. But as Laila Humairah reports, investing in women-run businesses is proving to be a wise financial move.
In Turkey's northwestern province of Edirne, Sevilay Güler is turning passion into profit. The handicrafts teacher fell in love with traditional paper making 4 years ago. Today, she paints Ottoman motifs on the paper she makes. It's a time-consuming process, but one she hopes can eventually turn into a livelihood for other women.
My eventual goal is to open a workshop to spread this art. I believe that sharing my skills with other women will help them earn an income by selling their products.
The biggest challenge for Güler is whether she'll get enough funding. Statistics show that while women entrepreneurs in developing countries have done a lot to catch up in recent years with their male counterparts, men are still 30% more likely to receive financing. That's where the Turkish government is stepping in. Funds set up by Turkish banks and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development have invested more than $500 million in female-run businesses in Turkey in the past 3 years. More help is in the pipeline, in the form of a women's equity fund on the Istanbul Stock Exchange. It will encourage investors to bet on women-run businesses. But even in developed countries like the United States, the challenge of narrowing the gender gap is an uphill battle. Fonta Gilliam, who founded a banking startup, cites gender bias when it comes to seeking capital.
A lot of male investors are skeptical of women who are mothers and who are wives. Can we still be dedicated to our business? And I think that that's unfortunate because, if anything, being a mother and a wife teaches you how to multitask, how to empathize with people that are different from you, and how to manage stress in ways that a male could never understand.
In the US, women-owned firms are growing at more than double the rate of other companies, according to the World Bank. Since 2016, they've contributed nearly $3 trillion to the economy and created 23 million jobs. Yet women entrepreneurs receive less than 7% of venture capital investment. Advocates of diversity in boardrooms and businesses say having more women in charge is also good for the books.
About 30% of revenue is stronger going to women-led startups than it is going to men, and there's a lot of data to back that up.
For women entrepreneurs continuing to challenge the status quo, every success story is another step in leveling the playing field. Laila Humairah, TRT World.
And one of Turkey's leading entrepreneurs who's also empowering women to take charge of their finances is Ozlem Denizmen. She's the founder and CEO of the financial literacy app Moneye, and she joins us now from Istanbul. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Ozlem. Firstly, tell us about your app Moneye. The main philosophy behind the app is a person who manages their money, manages their life. So how does Moneye help people do that?
Thank you very much. Well, we make a lot of mistakes with money, especially with spending part. Sometimes we find ourselves in exuberant spendings and we cannot reach our dreams within our means. That's what Moneye tries to do. So you come into the app, you set a goal. This could be a wedding. This could be down payment of a house. This could be a car. Or this could be sometimes how to close down debt. So after you have your goal, then you said, okay, where am I going to spend? Where am I going to find the money to spend, to save for my goal? So, and then Moneye finds your sweet spots, because we all have sweet spots where we can save money from. And then it helps you save. And this money it saves for you, you then send it to investment, which is very critical. So this is how the Moneye loop works. It also talks with you. It has AI behind it. Every day it chats with you, it motivates you. Yes, Ayşe, you can do it. I believe in you. You will reach your goal.
That's great. Can I ask you now about this report that's just been released? The Global Financial Literacy Excellence Centre has released this study that basically shows women are generally less financial literate than men. Why is that? Why is there a gap in financial literacy knowledge between men and women?
Well, one is role models. We need to have women around us who are doing budgets, who are investing the money, who are just showing the woman that exists in the family that yes, women do understand from money. We all need role models. That's number one. And number two is that the first money is learned at home from our family. And that's why it is critical to be giving allowance as a way to teach our children how to be financially savvy in life. And this allowance very much starts at the age of 7 and until the age of 14, it should be weekly. And then after 14, it should be monthly. So this should be also done for girls. And exposure is extremely important. And when you look at it, when women do open the door and enter the space of money, they're very good. For example, there's a very big investor, everybody knows Warren Buffett. Apparently, his investment style has characteristics the same as us, as women, when we invest. And there's even a book, it's called Warren Buffett Invests Like a Girl. So when we actually enter the field, when we believe that we do understand from money, we start executing. We are better researchers. We do less have a need of adrenaline to make an investment. We are more patient. We are less affected by our peer pressures. So these sort of things. So it's just a matter of opening the door to women to enter to the field of investing, saving, as well as working. And work is very important for women to make her own money, because once you have your paycheck, and once you have your bank account, you are more close to managing your money. And there's much more we can do to have more women in workspace. There's a lot that's happening in Turkey in the last years for this, which I'm happy about as a Turkish citizen, but there's still more that we have to do.
There sure is. Can you explain to us, how are women disadvantaged by a lack of financial literacy?
Well, it's, as I said, when you start working, this is actually when you get your paycheck, this is when you start being in the system. So when you're in the system also educates you. That means you're financially included, and you have to know how to open the account or how to move into an investment account. And many products, financial literacy comes from being in the system. If you're not in the system, what are you supposed to learn? Because you're just fine the way it is. So being in the system, being in the game, I would say number one. Number two is having more role models in finance.
Okay, Ozlem Denizmen, we will have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us again on International Women's Day. Thank you.
I thank you. If I may say one last thing, for those women who are looking for money, for funding, never give up, because when we entrepreneurs, we go seek for money, we get a lot of no's. We don't have to change our names to a man's name. We just have to be more persistent and think very big.
Okay, Ozlem Denizmen, a great message to end the interview on. Thank you again for joining us.